What's up, Dodgers Nation? The blue is blazing right now, and this postseason has already given us enough drama to keep the adrenaline pumping all the way to the World Series. You could feel it from the very first pitch. This Dodgers team came to Philadelphia with one goal in mind: survive that insane environment and walk out with wins. But not just one win. Two back-to-back victories in one of the loudest, toughest ballparks in the entire league. And Freddie Freeman, the guy who always seems calm no matter what chaos is going on around him, opened up about just how special that really is for Los Angeles. He said it straight: taking 2 games in Philly is massive. It's one of those places where the fans never stop. The energy doesn't dip for even a second, and you can barely hear yourself think once the crowd starts roaring. Before the series even started, the mindset inside that Dodgers clubhouse was simple: just get one. Grab one win in enemy territory, and then head back home to finish the job. But when they managed to sweep both games there, the mood changed completely. That's when everyone in the locker room knew they had done something huge. You can imagine the scene: players sitting in the dugout after that second win, exhausted but smiling, and then Kike Hernandez looks around and says, "We just took 2 here." It sounds like a small thing to say, but in that moment, it carried the weight of everything they'd been through. Philadelphia is brutal in the postseason. The fans are right on top of you. The noise feels like a wall pressing in, and every mistake gets magnified 1,000 times. So, when Freddie says this is one of the hardest places to play, he's not exaggerating. To come in here, silence that crowd, and walk out with 2 wins, that's not luck. That's resilience. And this is where it gets even more impressive. The Phillies have one of the deepest pitching rotations in baseball. They've been shutting teams down all season, and everyone knows how tough they get once October hits. Yet, the Dodgers managed to handle them, not just holding their own, but actually taking control of the series. That says everything about the mindset this team has built. They didn't just show up to compete, they showed up to dominate. Freddie Freeman's leadership has been crucial in that. He's the kind of guy who doesn't need to scream or throw equipment to get a message across. His calm confidence sets the tone. When he talks about how hard it is to win in Philly, it's not just words, it's respect. Respect for the opponent, respect for the game, and respect for how much effort it takes to be great at this level. That's what separates veterans like him. He knows the grind, and he knows how big those 2 wins truly are in the grand picture of a postseason run. Because let's be real, going up 2-0 in any series is already a great spot to be in. But doing it like this, taking both games on the road against a fan base that lives and breathes baseball, that's a statement. It's a message to the rest of the league that the Dodgers aren't just contenders. They're built for October. You don't come out of Philadelphia with 2 wins unless you're mentally tougher than everyone else. Now, what this really means is that the Dodgers have complete control of this series. All the pressure shifts to Philadelphia, and that's not a comfortable place to be for a team that's used to having the home field advantage. The Dodgers, on the other hand, now get to go back to Los Angeles with the series in their hands. 2 games at home, 1 win needed to advance. That's the dream scenario. And even though we've seen crazy comebacks in baseball before, this feels different. Unless something historically bad happens, the Dodgers should be able to close this out without much trouble. The Phillies' bats have been quiet. The Dodgers' rotation looks dialed in, and everything seems to be falling into place at the perfect time. Yoshinobu Yamamoto takes the mound for Game 3, ready to keep that momentum going while the Phillies counter with Aaron Nola, and that's going to be another must-watch matchup. But beyond the stats, beyond the numbers, there's something special about how this team is playing. They're loose, they're confident, and they're feeding off each other's energy. Every time someone makes a big play, it feels like the entire dugout explodes. You can tell they believe in each other. And that's what wins championships: chemistry and trust. That chemistry showed in Game 2 when the Dodgers pulled off one of the slickest defensive plays you'll ever see. Bottom of the 9th, tension through the roof, the Phillies threatening to tie it up. Nick Castellanos standing on second base, no outs, and Philadelphia ready to explode. Then Bryson Stott tries to bunt him over, and what happens next could end up being one of the defining moments of this postseason. Max Muncy charges in, fields the bunt cleanly, and fires it to third base, where Mookie Betts is already covering. Boom! Tag out. Just like that, the Dodgers take the lead runner off the bases. It was a perfect execution of what's known as the wheel play, and it couldn't have come at a better time. What's wild is that the Dodgers never even practiced that play in spring training. It was a spur-of-the-moment decision by manager Dave Roberts. He just told Mookie to be ready, to trust the read, and to make it happen. And that's exactly what they did. Roberts later said it was their only real chance to save the game in that situation. And he's right. If that bunt gets through, it's a whole different story. But instead, Muncy and Betts turned what could have been disaster into a highlight that every Dodgers fan will remember. And the way Mookie disguised, it was pure genius. He didn't break early, didn't tip his hand, and that hesitation made it impossible for the Phillies to adjust. By the time Stott realized what was happening, it was already too late. That's the kind of instinct that makes Mookie one of the most complete players in the league. He's transitioned to shortstop this season, and to pull off a play like that in such a high-pressure moment says everything about his growth and baseball IQ. Most shortstops would have either broken too soon or arrived too late to the bag, but Mookie timed it perfectly, took the hit from Castellanos, and still held onto the ball. Freeman even mentioned how the whole thing required split-second communication and trust. Because when you run that will play, there's nobody covering second base. Everyone's in motion. Muncy's charging, Mookie's sprinting across, and Freddie has to be ready to back it all up in case the bunt goes somewhere unexpected. That's why you saw him hustling to second base after the throw. They had talked it through, they had a plan, and everyone executed flawlessly. Moments like that show why this Dodgers team is so dangerous. They're not just winning because they hit more home runs or throw harder fastballs. They're winning because they play smart baseball. Every guy knows his role, every guy stays locked in, and when something unexpected happens, they adapt. That's championship DNA right there. And that will play. It might not end up on the highlight reels for the casual fans, but for anyone who really understands the game, that was art. It saved the game, it protected their lead, and it showed how sharp this team's defense really is. Without it, the Phillies probably tie the game, maybe even take the lead. Instead, Los Angeles closes it out with cool heads and sharp execution, turning what could have been chaos into calm. After that play, you could see the energy shift completely. Harrison Bader came in and hit a single right after, and if that out at third hadn't happened, the game would have been tied. Instead, it was just another test that the Dodgers handled perfectly. Alex Vesia stayed composed, got a big force out, and then Roki Sasaki came in to finish it off in style. Just 2 pitches to get Tree Turner to ground out and end the night. When you watch this Dodgers team right now, you can feel something different in the air. It's not just about talent, it's about identity. They've built a version of themselves that knows how to handle pressure, how to stay calm when the game gets tight, and how to find ways to win when everything seems to be slipping away. That's the kind of mindset that separates the teams that fade in October from the ones that lift the trophy at the end. You can see it in how they move, how they communicate, how they trust each other without saying a word. It's a rhythm, a chemistry that's been built all season, and right now it's paying off in the biggest way possible. After those 2 games in Philadelphia, it became clear that the Dodgers weren't just playing baseball, they were sending a message. Beating the Phillies in their own house isn't just another victory. That's walking into one of the most hostile ballparks in the sport and silencing a fan base that lives for postseason chaos. Philadelphia fans take pride in getting into players' heads. They've seen their team rally from impossible situations, and they feed off that energy. But this time, it didn't matter. The Dodgers never flinched. Every time the crowd tried to rattle them, they answered back with clean defense, patient hitting, and smart pitching. Freddie Freeman said before that getting even 1 win in Philly would have been great. And now that they've taken 2, the weight of the series has completely shifted. You could sense how much it meant to the team. The way they celebrated after Game 2 wasn't wild or over the top. It was composed, focused, the look of a team that knows the job isn't done but understands just how significant those wins are. They're not getting ahead of themselves. They're not talking about the NLCS yet. They're just living in that moment, appreciating how hard it is to take games like those and staying locked in for what's next. And what's next could be even more exciting. The Dodgers are heading back home to Los Angeles with all the momentum in the world. The crowd at Dodger Stadium is going to be electric, knowing that their team is just one win away from another trip to the NLCS. There's something about being back home with the city behind you that gives an extra edge. Yamamoto will take the ball, and you can bet the atmosphere will be electric. The fans will be waving their blue towels, chanting from the first inning, and the energy will be through the roof. The Dodgers have a chance to close it out in front of their people, and if they keep playing the way they've been, it might not take long. But what's really fascinating is how this group keeps finding new ways to evolve. Everyone expected this team to rely on their offense, to win games by outslugging opponents. Instead, they're showing that they can win with defense, strategy, and heart. That while playing Game 2 wasn't just a great moment. It was a symbol of who the Dodgers are becoming. They're confident enough to improvise, smart enough to adjust, and fearless enough to take risks when the moment demands it. You don't fake that kind of chemistry. It's built through months of grind, through bad games and hard lessons. You can also see how much this roster has matured. Mookie Betts, for example, has embraced his role at shortstop like he's been there his whole career. The way he reads the game, the way he positions himself, the way he takes control of situations, it's next-level baseball IQ. That play against Castellanos wasn't just about athleticism. It was about anticipation. He disguised the move so well that even the Phillies bench didn't see it coming. That's something only elite defenders do. And when you add his offensive firepower on top of that, you start realizing why he's one of the most complete players in the game. Freddie Freeman also deserves massive credit for being the anchor of this team. His communication on the field, his leadership in the dugout, it's the glue that holds everything together. When the Dodgers pulled off that will play, he wasn't just standing still watching it unfold. He was already sprinting to cover second base, thinking 2 steps ahead, making sure there were no gaps left open. That's baseball instinct at its purest form. That's the kind of stuff that doesn't show up on stat sheets, but wins championships. Manager Dave Roberts, too, has handled this series like a chess master. That decision to run the wheel play wasn't written in a playbook. It was intuition, trust in his players, and an understanding of how the Phillies think. It's risky to call something like that in a postseason game, but that's exactly what separates great managers from good ones. The courage to make a bold move and the confidence that your players can pull it off. And Roberts has that confidence because he's built it with his guys all season long. Another thing that stands out is how balanced this Dodgers roster is. Every player seems to have their moment. One night, it's Muncy making a clutch play. The next, it's Will Smith calling a perfect game behind the plate. Then you've got Shohei Ohtani staying locked in, reminding everyone why he's one of the most dangerous hitters in the world, and Yamamoto ready to dominate from the mound. It's like every piece of the puzzle is falling into place at the right time. And when a team is this synchronized, it's terrifying for anyone standing in their way. But before we move forward, don't forget to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest news about the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the news, so drop a comment below. Los Angeles. The baseball world is buzzing tonight as whispers have become a roar. The Los Angeles Dodgers have reportedly reached an agreement with star closer Josh Hader, a move that could redefine the trajectory of the 2025 season. While official confirmation is still pending, sources close to the team suggest that the deal is imminent, sending shockwaves through both the National League and the broader baseball community. Hader, known for his blazing fastball and devastating slider, has long been one of the most dominant relievers in the league. Teams across MLB have coveted his services for years, but few anticipated a mid-season arrival to the Dodgers. Rumors began circulating earlier this week after Hader was spotted in Los Angeles, fueling speculation that the Dodgers were about to make a blockbuster move to solidify their bullpen. If true, the addition of Hader gives manager a formidable weapon for the stretch run, potentially transforming close games into near certainties. Fans have taken to social media in droves, sharing reactions ranging from excitement to disbelief. If this is true, the Dodgers are basically unstoppable, one fan tweeted. Analysts are already speculating how Hader will mesh with the existing pitching staff, including Walker Buehler and Julio Urias. Could this be the missing piece that finally pushes Los Angeles back to World Series glory? The chatter around MLB clubs suggests that the move could spark a domino effect, with other teams scrambling to adjust their strategies before the trade deadline closes. Even without official statements, the rumor alone has injected a new level of energy into Dodgers Nation. Local bars and sports networks are buzzing with speculation, debating how many saves HADER could pile up, which high-pressure games he might influence, and whether his presence will alter the team's rotation and bullpen usage. Critics, however, warn that integrating a high-profile closer mid-season isn't without risks. Team chemistry, workload management, and adaptation to a new league environment all factor in. Still, the prevailing sentiment is clear. If this deal goes through, the Dodgers have just made a statement. In a league where timing and momentum can define a season, adding a player of HADER's caliber could be the spark that ignites a championship run. As the rumor mill swirls and insiders hint that an announcement is imminent, one thing is certain. Major League Baseball fans are in for one wild ride, and the Dodgers just made the offseason excitement come early. That's all for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay up to date with exclusive news about the Los Angeles Dodgers, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We always appreciate your comments and feedback. See you in the next video.